Okie doke. So I am live. So I'll just wait until people come on and I'm just going to share this live somewhere else. Say hello when you're there so I can see who's around and if anyone's on to join us. Oh, there I can see people starting to come on. So say hi so I can see who's there. Oh, we're getting a few more people now. Okay. So whilst I'm just waiting for a few more people to come on, and then I'll bring Martine on with us. For those of you that might have seen this post already, I did ask a while ago if people were interested in me doing a live with Martine Alexander, who is a stylist and works with lots of celebrities. She's very good at what she does. And Marple, that's very naughty. I'll get rid of him in a minute. And let me just find where we are on here. So if I'm looking away, apologies, because I'm just checking we're in the right place, getting us shared about, and then I'll be checking your questions. So if you've got any questions about anything, body image, fashion, anything you like, free for all, you can ask away once I get Martine on here. I've got some questions of my own, actually. Marple, stop it. So let's have a look. Oh, very naughty. There we go. So I'm just going to get rid of this gorgeous little mutt. Right, come on. Matt? Maya? Just get the dog, please. There we go. The dog will tend to lie down on the bed and just watch me quite happily in the middle of the day. And it's like it gets to a certain time at night where he just barks at me when on the computer as if to say, come on, off you get. So lots of people saying hello. Hello, everyone. Hi, hi, hi. So feel free to pop your questions in the comments for anyone that's got anything at all they want to ask. And I'm just going to add Martine now. So oh, there you are.
Oh, I'm very shiny and very bright. I keep trying to change it. I'm not really sure what's going on. I guess you go brighter and brighter.
Oh, you look lovely.
Very vibrant.
Yeah, have you got a rainbow on? I've got a rainbow on.
Yeah.
Oh, rainbows.
You couldn't hear me in the waiting room backstage thing. I was going, we're both wearing rainbows.
Backstage. Woo-hoo.
I know.
So still saying hi here. Someone's not in a good place, lost my friend, died yesterday. I'm sorry to hear that, Linda. That's horrible. Well, hopefully our light-hearted live tonight will cheer you up a little bit and give you a nice welcome distraction.
Hopefully.
So, yes, hopefully. So, Martine, tell us a little bit about what you do. What do you do? What's your job?
My job is to make people look and feel amazing.
Good, like it.
Yeah. There we go, switching off. I'm off to bed. No, I work with men and women, predominantly women, I would say.
I was going to ask you that. Was going to be one of my questions. Do you work with men as well? Tick that one.
I'd say about 7 to 10% men, 90% women. And you know, the ironic thing is, the majority of men that I style, with men, you tend to find that I style the wife goes, just sort him out. He is driving me nuts. And that's why you dress the husband, because, or they go, hang on a minute, she's looking like really hot and I don't. And
I want to
like, maybe I need something. So that's why I tend to do men. Or they've just gone through like a divorce or
want a refresh. Yeah. Well, yeah, because I think there's times where things happen in life and we might feel a bit down or fed up. I think one of the ways that we can often make ourselves feel a bit better is to look after how we look and all of that sort of stuff. It's funny, actually, because we've got something in common there, because usually when I see men, it's usually because their wives have said, you need to go and speak to somebody or I'm off. I know. But usually, I know it's not. And then actually, I always say, I'll have a chat, but unless they want to, then sorry, that is it. But usually, 9 times out of 10, they do want to, really.
Yeah, and that's the thing, though, isn't it? Because if somebody comes to me and says, like, do you want, like, I'd like to buy you for my wife, I'm like, okay, does your wife know that she needs help in that department? You know, that would
Yeah,
get like a brick thrown in my face.
that's a really good point. I'm not sure how I'd feel if Matt said, "Oh, for your birthday, I booked you in with Martine so she can style you a bit better." I'd be like, secretly a bit excited, but I'd be like, should I be insulted?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And I always ask that question and say, are you sure this will be well received? But anyway, going back to what I do, I clear people's wardrobes because there's so much history sometimes in someone's wardrobe, and it can be a negative history, and it can also be like thin clothes from when you were slimmer and you just don't want to get rid of them, and so they hold you back. They make you feel can I swear shit about yourself. So
yeah, it's really common that probably, isn't it? And I know that I know when I spoke to you not so long ago, because I'm going to get my wardrobe definitely detoxed with you, that there is stuff in there I've had for ages, but the stuff that I've kept in my wardrobe is stuff that is like my backup. Either one, I'll get back in it one day, so I'll keep it, or two, I need to keep this because I'm expanding, and these are my jeans where I'm a bit more overweight, and therefore I might need them very soon. So I've got like different piles.
But I always think the stuff that you think you're going to get back into, if you physically can't get rid of it, put it in a vacuum packed bag and put it in the loft or under bed or something, because those negative feelings that you get when you look at them, whether it was something that you've bought and you think, oh my God, I spent a fortune out of that on that, I feel guilty because I've never worn it, negative. If you've got anything that's negative, or one of my very first clients, and I've done this for 15 years now, but one of my very first clients, I detoxed her wardrobe first before I took her shopping, which was the main thing she wanted, was to buy new clothes. And I said, well, hang on, you've probably got stuff in there that's good.
What do you need?
So that we can work with some little nuggets. So anyway, I detoxed the wardrobe, and I said, I got to a point and I said, I'll be really honest here, there's 3 people in your wardrobe. And she said, what do you mean? I said, well, there's like a casual you, there's the you that's the doctor, but then there's this third person, and I don't know who it is, but it doesn't fit in with who you are. And she said, she started crying, and I thought, oh my God, Martine,
what have you done?
What have you said? And she said, I had a miscarriage, and I went through a very hard time, and every single thing that you've picked out that you've said isn't me, is that person. And I said, well, are you ready to get rid of it, of the clothes and everything that's attached to it? And she said, I am. And for her, it was so cathartic and therapeutic. It can be for a lot of people. So
yeah, it's interesting you should say that, because when I suffered with really bad anxiety, one of my little obsessions was buying things online, because I felt like I couldn't really go out. I was almost projecting into the future. One day I'll feel better and I'll order this for when I feel better. But interestingly, once my anxiety had started to settle and I wasn't as anxious, the clothes that I wore at that time when I was really anxious and when I ended up in hospital, some really nice clothes, to be fair, because I was like, say, buying myself stuff, I just didn't want to wear it anymore, because every time I put it on, it took me back as if that's where I was in that time period. So eventually I did. It's funny, actually, I don't even think I realized what I was doing. I just thought, oh, I don't like that anymore. But I think that's probably what it was, is that association to it. Just saying here, Lee, we've got a male comment, which is nice. Lee, I wear hippie style clothing, and all I get is, am I wearing these trousers for a bet? People aren't.
You feel good in them. If you feel good in them, then shove 2 fingers up in the face and say, no, actually, I spent my hard-earned cash on these and I freaking love them.
Yeah, and everyone's got different styles and tastes as well, haven't they? And I think whatever you feel comfortable with.
I always say it's the 3 C's. If you feel comfortable in something, you'll feel confident. And if you're confident, you will carry it off. So it's that. If you don't feel comfortable, you will fiddle at the bits of you that you don't like.
Yeah.
And people will look at the bits that we're fiddling. If I was doing this the whole time, you'll be looking at me. Well, if I don't like my chin, all you'll be doing is staring at my chin.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's
absolutely.
crazy. You've got to feel comfortable in something.
Well, I used to, because I've got big boobs, so I would be so conscious of that. Well, not so much anymore. I'm not bothered anymore. But when I was younger, and I'd be so conscious of it. So I'd be constantly like adjusting my bra, like making sure it's all, and I was just constantly drawing attention to it. Like,
Yeah.
you know, the one thing I didn't want people to notice was the one thing I'm always adjusting and messing with. It's crazy, isn't it? It's like where we focus.
Yeah.
So let me ask you some questions. Do you think, this is a very general question, but do you think that most people have body image concerns? And I say concerns because the word issue sounds quite severe, doesn't it? But do you think everybody has body image concerns?
So the first thing I do when I work with anybody is get inside the head.
Mm-hmm.
And whether you want to call it psychology, there's a series of questions that I ask them that will tell me. And so that when I look at clothes, I'm looking as if I am me, Martine, that was a size 18, that still has a fat days, a stylist, but also as if I'm them. So that I can get inside their head and I can think, when I look at something, I can go, okay, right, well, they won't like this because of this. So one of the questions that I ask people is, and it's the hardest question I always ask, and it's, tell me what things physically about yourself you like. And they'll just go, what? And I'm like, I need to know, because what I want to do, and the reason I'm asking, is I'm going to instead, so say I like my chin, I'm going to be doing this all the time because you're going to look at my chin. If you like your boobs, we're going to show off your boobs. I don't want to focus on the bits that we don't like. I want to focus on the bits that we do. And asking them that question is the hardest question that I ask anybody. So yes, is your answer. I think I'd probably say there's a handful of people that have said, I quite like it all. It's extremely rare. And what you tend to find is when you say to someone, tell me what you like physically about yourself. They go, well, I don't like my tummy, and I don't. And I'm like, stop there.
Yeah, that's not why.
Let's go back. That's the next question.
Yeah.
So, and it is the hardest thing.
Yeah. It's like that's the place we go to directly, is that what we don't like. Because when you were asking that question, when you were saying that, then the first question is, what do you like? And I was instantly assuming you were going to say, what don't you like? Because that's kind of, and interestingly, the questions I've got, so when we go through these questions in a minute, it's interesting, like already, so someone's asking about being, when you're uncomfortable with your weight, what would you wear with a poochy stomach, with a big hips? Like everybody focuses on the bit that's kind of like,
that we don't
like that, and I want rid of it. And it's, but and I find as well that I can fluctuate. So some days I'm like, I'm not really bothered. Like, I'm 42 this year. I'm quite happy. I'm quite content. Yeah, I've got a little podge where I didn't have it maybe even 2 years ago, but it is what it is. But then if I wake up in a state of mind another day, and I'm really honest on this page, that people are really used to me like bearing warts and all, but you know, I was playing table tennis the other day in the garden, and I was hormonal and my stomach was swollen. I'm playing table tennis and I was in a really low state of mind. So I'm messing about with my husband and my daughter, and I just caught a glimpse of myself in the bifold door, and I instantly was like, oh, it's disgusting, like quite harsh. Yeah. And I was like, I actually said this in front of my daughter, and I had to apologize afterwards, because it is not it's not what I want her to be listening to. But I said, oh God, that just looks so fat. And I threw the table tennis thing away. I'm not playing anymore, like a brat. But my state of mind, and I just looked at myself, and I was almost disgusted. And yet other days I look at my little bloated tummy while I'm hormonal, and I'm like, no, that's just because, you know, that's what happens when you're hormonal, and so what? And it doesn't bother me at all. So I think your state of mind yourself, because I can imagine if I was coming to see you, I'd be thinking, oh, it'd have to be on one of my good days rather than on one of my bad days where, you know, I was looking at everything negatively. And do you find you get people who are just in one of those zones when they come, and is that harder for you?
Yeah. In a nutshell, it is harder. But for me, I think, as well as putting people in clothes that suit their shape and their body and their personality, it's showing them the bits that are good about themselves. And I know I've had there's one client that springs to mind when you've mentioned this. She always says, like, I'll see you when I've lost weight. I'll come back to you when I've lost weight. And I'm like, here we go again. And she just got to a point where she was like, I have physically got no clothes. I'm going to have to do it at the size that I am. And I'm like, right, okay. And she actually sent me a message after, and she said, I don't know what it is that you do. She said, but you've made me feel so good about myself. I don't know what it is that I do. I don't know. I just focus on making the most of people, and the bits that are incredible on them, I comment on and just say, my God, you've got the best arse in the whole world. And actually, ironically, for some people, that's the bit they don't like. And I don't know. I've not got to that bit yet.
Yeah. Because everybody sees different. Again, talking about boobs before, people say to me, oh, you're so lucky. When I was younger, you're so lucky. And I used to think, no, you're lucky because you've got none. And I would want to be able to wear a top without a bra, and you can, and I can't. And so somebody else's perception, it can be the absolute opposite of what yours is, which is funny.
Exactly.
So someone's put here, I can't fully understand what Lee said there, but something about he looks at his body and feels ugly, anxiety and life. And something about ladies have always said I need to take a long look at my face before talking, or something like this. Bit's a bit missed out. But to be honest, Lee, if the ladies saying things about your appearance and the way you look in your face, I don't sound like the kind of ladies you probably want to be spending too much time around, to be honest.
Unless he's not happy himself.
Yeah. Well, in a way, it always comes down to that, in a sense, because we can only ever see ourselves properly through our own eyes. And when we're happy, sometimes, again, when I've been feeling like, oh, I want to lose some weight, and then I'll look at somebody who is, strictly speaking, a bigger size than me in clothes, and I look at them and think they look fantastic, and yet I'm a smaller size, and yet I feel that I don't look nice in that size and I need to be smaller. But again, as you were saying earlier, it's the way that person carries themselves. It's the way that they own what they've got and how they wear it and show the best bits. My husband used to always say to me, whenever you put weight on, you start wearing really baggy clothes. I don't get it. Like, it makes you look bigger why won't you wear fitted clothes? And it's that thing of, oh, I need to hide it all.
Myself, But the thing is, as well, the difference is, when you look at someone else, you don't hear their internal chatter. But when you look at yourself, you hear that, oh my God, that voice that says, dear God, you need to lose weight, or dear God, you look big, or, those things that we wouldn't say to our best friend. We wouldn't say it to our worst enemy, but yet we say it to ourselves all the time.
Yeah. And actually, when we're looking at a friend or someone, sometimes friends say, oh, you're just saying that to make me feel better. But actually, genuinely, you don't see it negatively when you look at them. You think, actually, it looks really nice.
Yeah.
Someone's asked here, I don't feel comfortable in most of my clothes in my wardrobe, and it brings a lot of bad memories, and that I'm not comfortable in my body and not sure if I will. I lost weight before I got pregnant, and when I got ill mentally and physically and lost weight and then gained it again, I just want to lose it again. So that was Bernie. So that's actually links in with what you were saying earlier, isn't it? That our wardrobe can actually represent a lot of memories of past. And then actually every time you look in it, it's negative, isn't it? So you go in, you feel negative, then it's very unlikely you're then going to put something on and go, oh yeah, I look great, because in your head, you're already feeling like shit.
And the thing is, when Bernie loses the weight, the clothes that probably she wore when she was slimmer aren't going to be her now, or those clothes may have negative memories to them. So my advice is to get rid of them. Take the leap. There's great places you can sell things. You can do eBay. There are great thrift shops. There are, dependent on the brands, there are great places that sell designer wear. There's Depop. There's so many different places now that you can sell. Or if you take them to, once the stores reopen, go to H&M. They have, if you put any size of a bag of clothes, take them in, they reuse the fabric, and they give you a £5 voucher to spend in store. I think you have to spend £25 or something, or £20. Or do you? I don't know whether you do. I thought there used to be like a minimum that you had to spend, or I think it's something like you have to spend £8 or something.
Wow.
Use it, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's really good. So let me go in and have a look at some of these questions. So someone's asking here about, and this has cropped up a few times, about how do you become comfortable with your weight? This is someone who's got PCOS. Is that polycystic ovary syndrome, I think, isn't it? And also her hair falls out with it. So it's about, she's just asking about how do you get comfortable with your weight? So
I think that's a double-edged sword, really, because you can answer it and I can answer it differently.
Because I'm thinking from an emotional, psychological perspective, but then I'm also thinking, actually, for you, there's got to be a way that you can dress yourself, like I said before, rather than throwing lots of baggy clothes on, rather, you know, that side. So if we're looking at it from an emotional side, it's, you know, I always think back to, and my friend wouldn't mind me saying this, if she watches, she'll probably watch this and she'll laugh at me, but I was a bridesmaid at her wedding. She was the first one of us to get married, and we were still pretty much, we'd not long since been out of sixth form. He was her childhood sweetheart, still together now, bless them. And so they had the wedding first. And we had these off-the-shelf bridesmaid dresses, I think from Debenhams or somewhere like that. Now, we were all different shapes and sizes. And I was tall. And as I say, I had the breasts very early on. And so I was so self-conscious in this dress. And I remember wearing it. And I remember thinking, oh, God, I look terrible. I look so fat. I look like this is hugging me in all the wrong places. And ironically now, when we look back at those pictures, me and my other friend, who was also a bridesmaid, we laugh because we were not fat. Like, we were anything but fat. But at the time, and again, I think this is the thing, as we get older and being comfortable, again, it's all about perception. To me, it's not even necessarily about comfortable with your weight. It's comfortable in your skin almost. So, I mean, this is all, again, sharing a bit too much information, but I would be the type of person that if I'd got out of the bath and I was in my knickers and I needed to go to the bedroom, I'd want to cover up my thighs because of my cellulite, and I wouldn't want anyone to see. And I don't know what it is, but there's some level of acceptance now where I'm like, so what? You know,
it's age.
And I think sometimes it is just age. But again, it's kind of, you know, I think my husband's not bothered. My daughter's certainly not judgmental in that way. It was me. It's in here. So the only person that can be accepting of it and that we need to be accepting of it is ourselves, and remembering that it is perception. So for me, I always remember back to that time with that bridesmaid dress and how critical I was of myself, which was ridiculous because actually I looked great. You know, when you look back now, it's old fashioned, but you know what I mean? I was not big.
It's annoying, isn't it? When we go, and this is me talking as me, not as a stylist, but when we are, say, bigger and when we've lost weight and we think, oh, I'm still so big, and then you see yourself a year later when you've put weight back on and you go, damn it, why didn't I appreciate that when I had it? Was still So I think it's just learning and accepting your body shape, knowing that what you have potentially you can't change your bones. Basically, you can change the fat around your bones and the muscle, but you can't change your bones. So your bone structure will never change. And it's accepting that, what your shape is, and then learning ways to make it look the best that it can.
Yeah.
That would be my advice.
Here's an interesting question. So why do you think people only wear 20% of their clothes 80% of the time? I wear the same stuff all the time and have lots of other nice clothes, but don't bother getting them out of the wardrobe. I do that too. Why do we do it?
I think one, it's laziness. So what you tend to find, and I've said this before, is if you are right-handed, the 20% tends to be on the right-hand side. And if you're left-handed, the 20% will always be on the left-hand side. Now, there's only one, what we call wardrobe personality, that won't be like that. And they are the people that are the really organised people. They colour coordinate their wardrobe. So they will always put it back. But most people, the stuff that they wear will always be on the right or the left.
That is me.
Yeah, it's everybody.
I've got a little wardrobe. So let me know in the comments then if what Martine's just said, think about when you go into your wardrobe, if you're right-handed, do you have your often wear stuff on the right and the other stuff on the left? Because actually that's exactly where mine is. And interestingly, it's all shoved on shelves, and then I've got a rail to the left of all the stuff that I never ever wear ever.
But it's like a comfort blanket, keeping that stuff. It's a comfort blanket. And also, the ironic thing is, if we work, or we have a uniform, or we have to wear a suit, whatever it is, it's the royal we tend to spend the least on that because it's for work. So it's a negative. Don't do that.
But interestingly, we're doing it more.
Exactly. That's where I was going with this. You wear that potentially 5 out of 7 days a week. You'll rotate through that stuff, your uniform, whatever it is, but you've spent the least on it. But the stuff that we wear once, everybody sees us in it on Instagram, on Facebook, and then we go, I can't wear it again because everyone's seeing it. We spend the most on that, wear it once, and it just sits there, and we feel guilty because we've spent however much and we can't wear it again for another year or whatever. But we spend more on stuff to make us feel special, and we tend to do that out of work rather than in work. But that's what we wear most of the time.
Yeah, when actually making that effort in whatever it is, your job, or as Emma's put, I'm left-handed, can't even open the right-hand door of my wardrobe as have stuff wedged against it.
That's not good, is it? You need me to come and detox your wardrobe. Do it virtually nowadays.
Yeah, well, she needs to get this. Let's have Emma. Yeah, it's right, Emma. I'm just checking. Emma needs to give birth to a baby soon, so I think she might have to wait.
Yes, please.
So, let's have a look. Oh, it's funny. I'm going to be saying that to everyone now. Right, are you left or right-handed when you go in your wardrobe?
Like I say, there will be. Obviously, it depends on what your bedroom's like or whether your dressing room is different. But predominantly, all bar one, what we call wardrobe personality, will do that. There's only one that won't because they organise their wardrobe.
Yeah, that's my sister. Hers will be all colour coordinated, and and she'll stick to that.
That tells me a lot about who somebody is. So if you tell me certain shops where someone shops, I'll be able to tell you what is important. So I call it what style boxes need to be ticked in order for you to feel good in your clothes.
Right.
So dependent on where they shop, it usually gives me a hint of what is important. That said, I had a client the other day and she shopped only in Marks and Spencer's purely because it was the only shop that did petite on the high street where she lived. But it's not her, and she was so frustrated. And she just said, I don't know why I'm not happy in my clothes. I was like, so I did my digging in the psychological digging, and I said, the reason you're frustrated is this isn't you. You want to be wearing edgier stuff and less classic. And she was like, oh my God, I've never realised that. I said, it's not floating your dinghy wearing M&S. So she's like, I've never realised why I was so frustrated. And now she knows.
And you're going to cost her a fortune. She's going to go out and spend loads of money in lots of different shops.
Yeah, but if she's wearing it, then it's not.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? You're right.
She got rid of all the crap that she wasn't wearing.
Like you say, you put on Instagram a while ago, didn't you, some dungarees, and I ordered them because I was asking you about the size, and you made me laugh because you went, they're really big sizings, so order a size down. I'm like, I'm in lockdown. I will not be ordering a size down. But
did you order a size down?
No, I didn't. And once they've been worn for a little bit, they do loosen, but I just feel dead comfy in them.
And if that's important to you to feel comfortable,
yeah,
then that's fine.
But what I think, again, when we go into this headspace, this like contaminated thinking of like, I'm not good enough, I don't deserve to look fashionable or nice right now because I put weight on or because of this or because of that, then it's so easy to get caught in that trap of almost like, right, well, bland mood, bland clothes almost. And I think when I saw those dungarees, all right, they're not exactly out there, but they're a little bit quirky. And I thought, actually, why can't I wear that? Because I'm quite quirky in personality and I do like quirky clothes, but I know that when I beat myself up for wherever I'm up to in terms of, weight, etc., I then just sort of go, oh, well, now I just need to wear like a black top and plain stretchy jeans because that's where I'm at. And it doesn't make you feel good, does it?
No. to stop doing it.
I know. Well, I've been listening to it. I've been better. So Emma said, yes, weirdly, pregnancy has been the time I've been most okay with my body. I guess lockdown and not having to go out at all helps.
Yeah.
I'm worried about after, though. I've just given away 6 bags of pre-pregnancy clothes and vac packed the rest. Well, I think that's great. Yeah, because, you know, and yeah, I think that's great. Just accepting it and not putting pressure on yourself to be, you know, I remember after I had my daughter, I lost weight really quickly, and I was like, yes, I've lost weight really quickly. And then about 3 weeks later, I realized, because I was anxious as hell. And
really?
So to me, it was a sign that I should have listened to, that I wasn't doing so well in here. Right. But I didn't. I was just like, you know, because the pressure is, oh, get rid of it, get rid of it. Whereas if I did that again now, which I'm sure I won't do now, but if I did that again, I'd just bloody embrace it and just enjoy getting in. I'd go and buy a few loungewear sets. Oof. Yeah.
A lot of people have those since we've gone into lockdown. So many people have been detoxing their wardrobe. It's crazy.
I think people will change what they wear.
Yeah.
Having worked from home for a long time, I've always been a kind of loungewear at the bottom, bit more, you know, at the top half. Not so much now, but like I'd put like a worky type top on and still have my loungewear on at the bottom.
They call that Zoom tops.
Yeah, do they?
Yeah, they call it Zoom tops.
I've got plenty of them.
Zoom styling. So you style people purely for this bit.
Brilliant.
You know, because I was obviously doing my Instagram lives every night. I did well, we've done 52 now, I think.
Amazing.
But I remember I looked at my first one for the first week. I looked at them and who I was and what I was wearing. The first week, but to be fair, I've had the most stressful day today. I'll tell you about it in a minute. But I did my hair. No, I didn't. I'm not going to lie. I didn't do my hair. I washed it. I put it up and I thought, it's fine. But when I first started doing my lives, I would probably dress like this. But I'm comfortable. I was upstairs. I had no ring light. It was just the most amateur, half-hearted thing. And then as the weeks went on, I must have done one with Kath Tilsley. And I thought, I'm going to make an effort. And I'd borrowed my friend's Sally's ring light. I put a bit of makeup on. And I still had my tracksuit bottoms on the bottom, but I had a nice shirt on and a dicky bow and everything like that. And I just thought, oh, I'm doing this. So every night I had to kind of keep it up.
Yeah.
So tonight, because you said it was laid back, I thought, oh, I'm doing laid back.
You look very cool. So cool is good. You know, and again, I think it's funny how we do feel different sometimes in the way we dress ourselves and make that effort. I came in the other day to my husband was on the computer working, and I'm like coming in, me and my daughter like, he had like work shoes on, trousers, a shirt, and like this over jacket thing. He'd even put after days on. And we're like, what are you doing? He said, I just feel more like I'm at work.
Oh,
so he looks ever so smart. But I was like, it was funny actually, like, I know, I was like, oh, he looks quite handsome. So I've not seen him like that for a while. So let me grab a question here. What cut or type of dress should I wear with a poochy stomach? Legs and arms are good. Laugh out loud.
Poochy? What do you mean? I don't know what poochy means.
I'm assuming it means a bit like what I say. Like it's, you know, when you get like a little bit of a pouch, like a little.
Where is it? Is it? Where does it start? Below or above the belly button?
I would guess below. I'm guessing though.
I mean, do you know the great thing that's out there at the moment is that I call them buffet dresses. Now, you either know what I'm on about or you don't. So, you know, a buffet dress is a dress that if you were going to a buffet full of beige food, you could eat as much as you wanted and your clothes won't feel tight at all. So it's a dress that kind of goes, it just skims, or sometimes they go fully out like a trapeze dress. So if you've got a pooch, whatever you want to call it, you want to kind of go for something. You're probably saying, if you've got a pouch, if it's lower belly, it depends how big it is, and I can't see your body shape. If you've got big boobs, then those kinds of dresses aren't necessarily going to work. The ones that drop from the bust down, you want something that just skims. So you want your waistband to be just under the bust, which they call princess line or empire line.
Like higher up here.
Yeah, so it's higher up. So all it will do is skim from there down over your tummy. Now, if you've got a big bust, that's the kind of shape you want. If you don't, and you've got a small bust, then something like a buffet dress is amazing. H&M have got loads, Zara have got loads, ASOS have got loads, depends on where you want to shop. They just literally hide a multitude of sins, but you can belt it in as well.
Right. And what are they called? If you were searching for a dress online, what's the style again? What would you say they were called?
Well, I call it a buffet dress.
Right.
It's just an oversized dress, really.
Yeah.
I would say.
What about with big hips? Someone say pear-shaped.
So what we always say is, in olden days, was that we all wanted to be in proportion. Some people are happy being out of proportion, but the golden thing we always wanted was to be in proportion. And when we say in proportion, it's shoulders or bust in proportion to your hips. So if you're pear shape, it's like the shape of a pear. It's narrower on the shoulders, the bust, and bigger on the hips, but a small waist. So what you have to think is, okay, how do I balance myself out? So you want to make a point of showing off this bit. So broadening the shoulders, anything like a wide lapel jacket, a halter neck, anything off the shoulder like Bardot style or bandeau is amazing. But you just want to take the focus away from the hips and bring it up to here. That's what your focus is really.
Okay. So and then someone's asked about the menopause belly.
I don't know what that is. Can you explain?
I think mine's just growing nice. I think mine's just starting.
Sounds like you're baking a cake. Mine's coming along just nice.
I'm working on mine, yeah. And I'm just trying to get back onto it. I think it's similar to the first question that you asked, actually, is just that bit there that, you know, people say once you get into your 40s, it's very hard to get rid of.
It's all in the mind, that.
I was going to say, because there's a lot of 40-year-olds without it, isn't there?
Yeah. You know, the one thing I'd say to avoid is pleated skirts. Pleats on anyone, unless you are like a size 6, pleats are an absolute beast. The only way you can do a pleated skirt is if sometimes you can get a pleated skirt. So this is the waistband. It's quite a long waistband that's flat fronted, so it doesn't have the pleats. The pleats will start kind of on your hips or between your stomach and your hips. So that's the only way a pleated skirt. If you are pear shaped or you have any form of weight on your tummy, just avoid those. Unless they're flat fronted. This is still making sense to people.
Yeah, it is. I'm really enjoying myself. Thanks very much. And so Nicola just said here, it's higher up than a pouchy belly. So it's higher up the belly when we're talking about having that sort of belly. So it's higher up. So would that?
I'm assuming that she's got no waist, if that's the case. So like I was saying before about the Empire line.
Yeah.
So you imagine, I'm going to try and do it stood up. You imagine normally, I don't know whether this is going to work, but normally the waist is here.
Yeah.
I hope this is clean. So the waist is here on me and there's under my bust. So you kind of want things to start here.
Yeah.
And then it sort of just skims down from there rather than coming in here and then jutting out. Because if you're carrying your weight here, you need something that just skims from here, from just under the bust down.
With you. Okay. And someone's asked here in the comments, which I think is quite a good question, actually. Hang on, I'm just sharing this. Is there typically a minimum spend when using a stylist? And
no,
because I say the reason that's an interesting question is because actually until I met you and realised
I'm a nice person.
That, one, you're a nice person. Two, you know, that you're down to earth. 3, that actually you're not just interested in working with celebrities, etc., which I'm sure is, you know, is lovely, but actually it's the same for everybody. That I think a lot of people don't see that unless you're of a certain bracket or wage bracket that you couldn't have access to a stylist, where actually the more I'm seeing it now, the more it's like the same as having a coach or it's no different. Whereas I think, again, it might just be my perception, but I think historically it's about, only this type of person has a stylist, when actually it's not just about, oh, put this on, it looks nice. It's actually about learning a lot about your shape and your body and all of that stuff. So I think it's a good question, really, because I think that was one of the things with me is like, well, how, because I know with yours, you do like set fees, don't you, for like detoxes and stuff like that, and then can advise people where to go. But I suppose it's then down to them what they spend, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So with me, it's like you say, you can either do a detox, whether it's virtual via Zoom or it's done in the flesh. To the olden days of actually seeing people, or you, and then obviously you take people shopping. So I always say that it's a set fee for my time or the hours of my time, and I will always work within your budget. So because there's nothing worse, and I would hate this, that if say I took somebody in Harvey Nichols and their budget was say H&M. But because I've not had that discussion with them, it's just one of those that it makes everybody feel really awkward because the worst thing I want somebody to say is it's gorgeous, but I can't afford it. So I always ask, what is your budget? I've had a client that she had like £500. Some people have only had 200 and will take them and shop with them. Yes, it works out that I'm expensive compared to that, but the amount of knowledge that you get depends why somebody needs me, really.
Well, then you keep that, don't you? Once you've got that knowledge, then every time you then go shopping, you take that with you every time, then, don't you? It's
that to me is the difference between a personal shopper and a stylist, because a personal shopper is there to get you to come back all the time. They're great at what they do, but they're not qualified to educate you on so that you don't need them again. Whereas my job is, I could take you into the Trafford Centre or to Westfield or wherever and say, okay, right. So I forgot what I was going to say now.
You're saying that it's more than just, oh, here's it's like educating them so that they can go back and do it themselves.
That's it. So it's about, some people, that's what I was going to say. Some personal shoppers will pre-select for you, whereas I choose not to because I want you to learn as we're going. So, and some people, this is why they use a stylist, and then they come back when their comfort zone, because if you imagine their comfort zone, this is your comfort zone where you first start. This is what you're comfortable in your black top and your black jeans. And then I come along.
Fine on me.
No, I'm just talking to the masses. So we start up here. Which hand was it? They're here. So because I'm seeing it the other way round on the screen.
I know it does on this,
yeah. So we start off here. This is you right now in your comfies. And then I come along. I don't know where your comfort zone is apart from what I can see. And I'm going to take you as far as I can when I shop with you and style you. Yeah. I'm going to take you as far as I can. And I get to a point with you where you go, I might get to here and you go, oh, I get it, but I'm not ready for that yet. So we go back. Yeah. Now, what you see on television on like Gawk or Trinity in the olden days was they would go from here to here because that makes really good TV. Really good TV. And then when they catch up with them again, they're just back here because they didn't know how to do it. So my job is to take you as far as I know, and then we stop. Yeah. And then you live with that. And then in say 6 to 12 months' time, that's your comfort zone where I left you. And so over the time, you take people further and further and further. And it's not to say that here was bad. It's, well, it clearly was, because that's why they come to me in the first place. They're just not happy. But it's just enhancing you. It's not a makeover. It's enhancing you. Who is it that you look at, celebrity, influencer, whoever, that you go, I would love to look like that, or I love her style. So
to be able to wear that.
Yeah. And then sometimes I will say, look, she's got 0 boobs. You've got a G cup. Ain't going to happen. That style isn't going to work. But I get where you're coming from. The reason you like that is because you like the edginess, or you like the preppiness, or you like this, or you like that. And then we'd make it work.
Yeah. Someone's just said that a stylist has to know their stuff to be able to style carefully and with care. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Someone's asked here, what colours do you advise for a very fair-skinned person? Very fair.
Very hard without seeing you.
I
can
think
talk generically, but
I think this is more like a probably if we think of my sister, who is a redhead.
Is it your sister?
Huh?
Is it your sister?
No, it's not. I think I can't remember, so I don't want to say it. I've got a feeling that this person might be strawberry blondish sort of.
Do you know, it's very hard because you don't. It's very hard to say. But I would probably. It depends. If she's strawberry blonde, she might suit bright colours. But she might not. She might suit more pastels.
So there isn't really a set, because this is another interesting thing, isn't it? That we tell ourselves, oh, I only suit this colour. So I've always been told I wouldn't suit red because I was fair skinned. When actually I've worn stuff that is red sometimes that might look nice. I think we get this set idea in our heads of, but actually it doesn't sound like what you're saying. It's not that sort of cut and dry, is it?
My thing is, and I was qualified to do colour. And I just thought it was the biggest waste of money. Why would you pay somebody to give you a strand of colour things that say you are this, you are that? Everybody can wear anything. It's how you wear it and where you wear it. So when they say that you can't wear red or you can't wear black, you can wear black. You just make sure that the colour that is here, which is where we get the reaction to our face, is not black. So wear it on the bottom half. Don't, maybe wear something and then add something else over the top. Or if you're wearing a black jumper, put like something, if it's a short sleeve jumper, put like a really cool roll neck underneath it that's a colour that is right for you.
Right, I'm with you, yeah. It's not.
It goes back to the days of the buttercup test when you were at school. You used to put a buttercup under. That's the fundamentals of what colours you should wear. The reaction of whether we see the yellow here or not is exactly the same for our clothes. So if you're quite fair and you wear black, you'll tend to find that you get black under your eyes. Hair will go black. It just creates shadows and makes people look a bit dead and gaunt, really. Certain colours, if you've got something that's like, so for you, it might be that orange red is right for you, not yellow based like a rust or a terracotta. They're still red, but you might need more blue in it than yellow in it to make it work. So everyone can wear anything. It's just where and how.
Oh, good. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've got something else here before. Why
do you keep looking around all your screens? What's going on?
Because I've got the comments are at the right-hand side of the screen. And to be honest with you, I've got glasses, Martine, that I hardly ever wear, because my eyes were not that bad, but I've realised during lockdown, I don't know what's happened, but they've took a turn for the worse. I need, one of my first trips out needs to be to the opticians because my eyesight has deteriorated. So I'm literally like this.
I keep seeing you going like this. You're going.
I know, but actually I should be able to read it quite comfortably from here, but I can't.
Are you on a laptop?
No, I'm on a computer on the desktop. It's quite big as well. I need to get to Specsavers.
You really do, because I've got two little boxes at the top. I'm on my phone, and
you're sensible. You've got your glasses on.
Oh my God, I won't be able to see anything if I didn't have my glasses on. I wonder who the hell you were.
You'd recognise that voice.
Yeah. Oh, I'd know it by your voice.
Yeah. So Emma said, who was talking before, Emma's the one that's having a baba. I have an hourglass shape, but like a fat hourglass. Emma, don't call yourself fat. Emma, I feel like all the hourglass advice is about pencil skirts and nipped in at the waist, but that doesn't work when you've got a big tummy as well.
No. So I would probably go for an A-line. So one that isn't pencil, you just want it so it skims over your tummy and then flares out. Yeah, not pleated.
Not pleated.
Not pleated, but it still nips you in at the waist.
Okay, well, I won't ask you to go into this now, but is there certain types of jeans that people should be wearing for certain shapes as well?
Yes. You don't want me to go into it, so I'm just going to say yes.
Yeah, well, yeah, because that was a personal question, really.
Yeah, there is. I actually wrote an ebook on how to get the perfect pair of jeans. I've taken it off because I've just launched my website, but I'm going to launch the ebook again to sell through my website at some point.
Right. Well, whilst you reminded me there, I'm going to put your web address in now while I remember for anyone. So when are you going to do that ebook? Because I want a copy of that as well.
Probably in the next month.
Okay. So anyone that wants to know how to get the perfect pair
I'd be interested to ask the question actually, whilst the people are watching, because I'm toying with what to charge for an ebook. So I'm interested to know what people would pay for an ebook.
So I suppose, first of all, I would say it depends how much is in there.
A lot.
Well, okay. So it's a tricky one, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is quite in depth. Like it'll go into it. It explains your body shape. So the first thing I say to anybody is once you know your body shape, it opens the world to you knowing what doesn't suit you.
Right.
So the first thing with anything when you're going for jeans is knowing your body shape. Now, if you hate your hips and thighs, you can wear skinny jeans. You just have to wear longer tops that cover your hips and thighs, unless you want to embrace them. Or you go for a boot cut or a kick flare or a slim leg or a straight leg. So it's knowing, it's all these different things really. So the ebook goes into things like fabric, into how to wash your jeans. What should you look for when you're in the shop? What should you look for in the changing rooms? Because so many women and men buy jeans that are the wrong size. And when I say that, you buy a pair of jeans that fit you, they go up and you go, yeah, that's fine. And then once you've worn them a couple of times, they go really baggy. So you have to add a belt. And they go, damn it, well, now I've either lost weight or they're just too, they've given too much. So when you go in the changing room, you should struggle to put your jeans on. So when you get to the, like the Special K, where she's on the bed with like the coat hanger, that's how not that bad, but they should dig in.
Right.
At the top. Because we always think, not too much, but a little bit, like a half an inch to an inch. That's what jeans will give when you wear. The cheaper the jean, the more they give. They need. So I always say the most you can spend on a pair of jeans, do it.
Right.
Because you pay for what you get.
Yeah, I once bought a pair of jeans from Primark at the time where I was going through, I've put weight on, so I'm not spending any money on jeans. And literally, I probably had them on 5 minutes and they were around my ankles.
Yeah.
Not a good look.
Yeah.
Okay.
It isn't.
Well, I think it'll, you know what? I think it's more about people when they want it from you, and it's more about how you market and tell them that what's in it, basically.
Yeah.
And you've got to value yourself, because ultimately you've got all your experience and that's what you're offering to them, isn't it?
My grey hairs give you the 15 years of experience.
I can't even see any grey.
That's because I got a box of Clairol on them yesterday.
Did you?
Oh yeah. Third time in lockdown. I was like, I can't stand it anymore. I thought the sun was glistening off this side, and I thought, oh, how shiny is my hair? And I went, oh, it's just a big grey patch.
The thing is, though, when you can do, I'm struggling to, because mine's highlights, but it's not anymore because it literally they go to there. So I've got like blonde thing there and then, but you can't do anything with it. I couldn't put a colour on it. It'd just be disastrous.
Yeah, especially if it's blonde. I mean, I'm only doing my roots, but I'm dark, so it's a bit brighter to see. My best friend's ginger, and her hair when she goes grey, it's gone blonde. It's like, you jammy git.
That's nice, yeah.
Like her grey hairs are blonde, so she's gingery blonde.
Beautiful.
Oh, bloody unfair that.
So I've popped your web address in the comments if anyone wants to go and have a nosy, because you've just recently done it, haven't you?
I have. In lockdown, it's one of my things was creating virtual packages. So I style people at home.
And also, you do quite a lot on, as you were saying before, you've done loads of lives over on Instagram, which I've thoroughly enjoyed. You've had such a mix. I did do one, yeah, but I enjoyed watching other people's more, obviously. But had a really nice mix. So, and a lot of them are still saved, aren't they, for people to have a look?
Yeah. Do you know, Instagram did this weird thing that I think after my 38th one, it introduced letting people save their Instagram lives to IGTV when you've got 2 people. And I was like, cheers, I've done 38 already, because I decided to, as you know, I did Monday to Friday at 8 o'clock for 10 weeks, and then this is week 12. So last week we only did one because of the Black Lives Matter on the Blackout Tuesday, so I cancelled that one, and then we've got one tomorrow which is with Zero Gravity Pilates, and then on Thursday I've got a man, which is part 2, a man that's teaching us all how to date from a man's perspective. I love it.
Yeah, it's so interesting, isn't it? Yeah, no, I watched the last one. I'll watch that again because, as you know, I've got my new little dating project up and coming.
Yes. Oh yes.
Which I'm very
I bet
excited
you got some
about.
right good interesting info there, didn't you? I was thinking at one point of something he said, and I thought, "Oh, Sari will like that."
Yeah, no, it was very interesting and very interesting from a man's perspective as well. But yes.
Yeah.
So if anyone's got any questions, I'm sure you can get in touch with Martine via our website, and if you struggle to find it for whatever reason, just pop me a message and I can send it over.
And if you need me on Facebook, I am Martine Alexander, personal styler.
Yeah, when you type in,
what I was doing today.
Oh, go on. What have you been doing?
I look like this. So one of my clients is a celebrity one, is starting a show on BBC One next Monday to Friday for 3 weeks.
Right.
And I got this call going, hiya, we need 3 weeks worth of outfits as soon as you can. And I'm just like, you what? You do realise I can't go shopping. I'm going to have to do it all online. So today I was masked and I had a visor on and I had gloves on and I did a fitting of 20 outfits in my house, in the room, what I call the clothes room, showroom, whatever you want to call it. It was an experience. And then I was left with the onslaught of what had happened, because normally I'd have my assistant here to help me.
With the other stuff.
I had to do it on my own. Anyway, it was fine, but it just left me a little bit traumatized. So straightening my hair went out the window, and I just thought, you have to make do with the little tufts that stick out tonight.
You're being tested at the minute, aren't you? Because I know you did a shoot not long ago where you went on set, didn't you, with your thing, and you can't. But because you were saying, I was thinking, how do you style someone when you can't touch them?
I didn't touch them. Hang on, I'm going to show you my visor. If you go on my Insta stories, it's like, this is Sans mask. It's me today with a face mask on top.
I thought you'd have a much more stylish visor, Martine.
Listen, it was given to me. It works. I can't see. The thing is, when I've got my mask on here, I can't see because it steams my glasses up. So Kim was just a bit like, "Oh, hello."
What's going on? Yeah.
But I just thought, I've got to be safe for me.
Yeah. Got to do it.
Yeah, I've got to do it. So there's a little treat for you.
So someone said here, what's your Facebook page again? Bernie, her Facebook page is Martine Alexander, personal stylist.
It's Alexander.
Have I put that right? Yeah, I have.
Martine Alexander, personal stylist.
Personal styling. To be honest, when you put in Martine Alexander, it shows up. It comes up. So I've tried it.
That's good.
Are your social media links on your website?
Yeah.
Okay. So anyone that's asking, I've put the link to the website in the comments. You can find it all on there. And then someone's put, thank you. It's been very interesting. It's a pleasure. So, and as ever, if you have enjoyed it or found it useful, give it a share and go over and give Martine a follow on Insta or Facebook or both.
Or both, because I do tend to put a lot more on Instagram. This is one of my missions. My next missions is getting more into Facebook.
Yeah.
Because I do a lot on Instagram. I do everything pretty much on Instagram.
Yeah. So you're coming out your comfort zone.
Yeah, this is my first StreamYard.
Well, there you go. Someone else.
I'm no longer a StreamYard virgin.
Well, I'm glad I could be alongside you for that experience.
I couldn't have thought of anybody better to take my StreamYard virginity.
Oof, making me all hot and flustered. Right, I'll leave you to it, and we'll maybe get to do this again one day.
Love to.
And catch up. So yeah, thank you, and thanks for everyone that was watching and for your likes and comments and everything. Okay.
Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.